Hey guys, welcome back, Street Outlaws fans. Today, we're diving into one of the most emotional, gut-wrenching stories ever to hit the high-octane world of street racing. It's a tale of fire, loss, resilience, and redemption. The kind of story that reminds us all why we fell in love with the Street Outlaws universe in the first place. We're talking about James "Reaper" Goad, a name that commands respect on the streets, but one that has also seen more than his fair share of heartbreak. If you've followed Street Outlaws since its explosive debut in June 2013, you know this show isn't just about horsepower and tire smoke. It's about brotherhood, rivalry, and sometimes tragedy. And no story embodies those highs and lows quite like Reaper's. Reaper didn't just show up to Street Outlaws. He exploded onto the scene with his brutal style, powerhouse cars, and zero-nonsense attitude. From the moment he first appeared, fans were hooked. Known for pushing his vehicles to the absolute limit, Reaper was never in it for the fame. He was there to win, to dominate, and to race with honor. His signature builds, most notably his 1955 Chevrolet and his later Camaro creations, became icons in their own right. Street racing, as every fan knows, isn't just about going fast. It's about respect, reputation, and risk. Reaper embodied all of those qualities. He raced hard, talked straight, and brought everything he had to the street. But life in the fast lane has a cost, and Reaper would come to pay a heavy one. Since its debut in 2013, Street Outlaws has delivered adrenaline-fueled entertainment that brings the underground world of Oklahoma street racing into the spotlight. And while it's filled with rivalry and bravado behind the scenes, things can get very real. Accidents are not just plot twists, they're life-threatening events. We've seen legends like Big Chief suffer serious injuries and cars demolished in fiery crashes. But for Reaper, the danger came not from the track, but from something even more devastating: fire and theft. Let's rewind to one of the darkest moments in Reaper's racing career, and arguably his life. Every street racer's worst nightmare became Reaper's reality, and not just once, but twice. First, there was the theft. His prized 1955 Chevrolet, a beast of a machine valued at nearly $200,000, was stolen. A vehicle that represented years of passion, sweat, and hard-earned money vanished overnight. Though the car was eventually recovered 2 days later, it was a brutal reminder of how vulnerable even the fiercest racers can be when the wrong people come sniffing around. But the most crushing blow came in 2020, after what should have been a celebration of victory. After a successful day of racing in Texas, Reaper and his wife, Stacy, were heading back to Oklahoma. Towed behind their vehicle was a trailer containing 2 of Reaper's Camaros, high-performance builds that were more than just machines. They were family. Suddenly, Stacy noticed a spark coming from the trailer. That spark quickly turned into a blaze. By the time Reaper arrived and opened the trailer door, the scene was a nightmare. Flames engulfed the interior, fueled by flammable tanks and racing chemicals. With no time to save anything, the couple watched helplessly as both cars were destroyed in the inferno. Fire crews arrived, but it was too late. The cars and a piece of Reaper's soul were lost. The cause of the fire? Still a mystery. But the loss? Absolutely real. After such a devastating loss, it's no surprise that Reaper considered stepping away from racing for good. The emotional and financial blow was massive. Years of work, thousands of dollars, and endless late nights in the garage, all reduced to ash in a matter of minutes. The heartbreak was enough to make even the toughest racer question everything. And for a time, Reaper did just that. He went quiet, retreating from the spotlight and unsure of what came next. Fans feared that they'd seen the last of him. But true racers? They don't give up. Thanks to encouragement from family, friends, and fellow racer Tyree Smith, Reaper began to rebuild. Not just his car, but himself. Rising from the ashes, quite literally, he unveiled a new beast. The Red Reaper, a jaw-dropping 1968 Camaro that brought him roaring back into the Street Outlaws. No Prep King scene. His return wasn't just about speed. It was a symbol of resilience. Reaper showed the world that even in the face of devastating loss, there's always a road forward. And he was ready to tear it up. Behind every great racer is someone who helps keep them grounded. And for Reaper, that person is his wife, Stacy. Their story is nothing short of remarkable. When they met, Stacy was struggling, battling personal issues, self-doubt, and health concerns. But through Reaper's unwavering support and love, she transformed her life, losing over 70 pounds and reclaiming her confidence. Together, they weathered every storm, from the heartbreak of the trailer fire to Reaper's time away from the scene. Their relationship is a rare gem in the world of motorsports, loyal, loving, and built on mutual respect. Reaper might play the part of the rough, no-nonsense racer, but those who know him will say he's a romantic at heart, completely devoted to the woman who stood by him through it all. Reaper's life wasn't always geared toward success. Before racing, he went through some tough times, including a stint in prison for drug charges. But rather than let that define him, Reaper used that dark chapter as fuel to become a better man. After getting out, he put his focus on family, passion, and racing. That redemption arc is part of what makes his story so powerful. He didn't just build cars, he rebuilt himself. And in doing so, he earned the respect of fans and racers across the country. Reaper's journey is about more than cars. It's about second chances. From time behind bars to the heat of the street, from fiery loss to roaring comebacks. His story is one of transformation. He went from a man tangled in trouble to a pillar of the street racing community. He traded his past for a purpose and built something meaningful from the ruins of tragedy. He didn't just rebuild a car, he rebuilt his life. And let's not forget, racing isn't just a hobby for Reaper. It's who he is. It's how he connects with fans, builds friendships, and shows the world what's possible when you refuse to stay down. James Reaper Goad's story isn't just about racing. It's about resilience, about staring down disaster and choosing to fight, about the power of love, support, and the human spirit. In a world that glorifies speed and spectacle, Reaper reminds us of what's real. The highs are incredible, but the lows? They're devastating. And it's how you handle those lows that defines you. Reaper handled them like a champion. His journey, filled with fire, loss, and redemption, is one that resonates far beyond the strip. It's a reminder that even when the flames destroy everything, there's still a chance to rebuild, to return, to roar louder than ever before. So to all the racers, fans, and dreamers out there, remember the Reaper. Because his legacy isn't just built on horsepower, it's built on heart. Reaper isn't just another racer on Street Outlaws. He's a cornerstone of the street racing culture. His style, attitude, and sheer determination have influenced countless younger racers who look up to him. Whether it's his no-nonsense demeanor at the track or his fierce loyalty to his team, Reaper has become a symbol of what it means to live and breathe street racing. His presence on the show brings authenticity, grit, and a sense of raw, unfiltered passion that keeps fans coming back season after season. People often romanticize the adrenaline rush of high-speed races and roaring engines. But what fans don't always see is the emotional toll behind the scenes. For Reaper, every loss, every setback is personal. The destruction of his beloved Camaros in that trailer fire wasn't just about losing expensive equipment. It was like losing a part of his identity. Those cars represented years of late nights, hard-earned money, and emotional investment. The emotional weight of such a loss can be paralyzing, but Reaper's strength lies in how he chose to move forward, rather than letting grief consume him. The creation of the Red Reaper wasn't just about getting back into racing. It was a symbol of healing. Every bolt tightened, every panel painted, every tweak under the hood was part of Reaper's journey toward recovery. This car wasn't built in a moment of triumph, but in the aftermath of devastation. It was built with the scars of the past still fresh, making its performance on the track even more meaningful. Red Reaper isn't just fast, it carries the weight of Reaper's comeback, a machine born from fire and fueled by determination. One of the most powerful aspects of Reaper's return was the overwhelming support he received from the Street Outlaws fanbase. Messages poured in from across the country, fans offering encouragement, sharing their own stories of loss, and celebrating his resilience. In an age where reality TV often feels manufactured, Reaper's story cut through the noise with raw authenticity. Fans didn't just admire him for his skills, they respected his heart. This outpouring of support played a huge role in his return, proving that the street racing community isn't just about competition, it's a family. At its core, Reaper's journey is bigger than racing. It's about facing the worst day of your life and choosing to rebuild. It's about not letting tragedy define you. It's about holding on to hope when everything else is burned to the ground. Literally. His story is deeply human and resonates far beyond the blacktop. It reminds us all that life will test you, but it's how you respond that matters. Reaper's comeback is a beacon for anyone facing loss, showing that redemption is always within reach if you're willing to fight for it. As the Street Outlaws series continues, fans eagerly await what's next for Reaper. With the Red Reaper roaring once again and his fire reignited, there's no doubt he's got unfinished business on the track. But more than that, Reaper has become a mentor and example for racers new and old. Whether he's pushing for the top spot or just offering words of wisdom in the pits, his legacy is firmly cemented. And if we've learned anything from his journey, it's this: no matter how many times he gets knocked down, the Reaper always finds a way to rise again.